Setting and customizing document margin. Page margins are more than just empty space. The perfect page margins make your document more readable. With narrower margins, you can squeeze more words on the page. However, having too many words per line makes your document difficult to read. Margins become even more important for complex documents, such as books or magazines with facing pages. With words margins and page setup tools, you can deal with large number of projects. Selecting preset margins. To select one of the preset margins, go to the page layout, move your pointer to page setup and click on margins, and then click one of the options from the margin gallery. For each of the preset margin options, you see dimensions and an icon that hints at the look of the page. Normal gives you 1 inch on all sides of the page. Narrow margins work well with multi-column documents, giving you a little more space for each column. Moderate margins with 3/4 inches left and right let you squeeze a few more words in each line. The wide preset gives you more room for marginal notes when you're proofing a manuscript. Mirrored margins are great for documents with facing pages like newsletters. Office 2003 Default gives you the default margin setup for Office 2003. What if none of the preset margins on the menu suits your needs? Word provides an extra facility to customize your margin. Go to Page Layout, move your pointer to Page Setup and click on Margins in the Margin list. Select Custom Margins to open the Page Setup dialog box. You can also open Page Setup dialog box by clicking the small triangle in the Page Setup tab. The Page Setup box has 3 tabs at the top. The Margin tab is first in it. At the top of the box, enter dimensions for top, bottom, left and right margins which suit your document. For example, here we enter the dimension as 3 in all the 4 dimension boxes. By setting lower values will not show you more difference for that purpose. Let us set a higher value for all the dimension boxes. Click OK to apply the changes to your document. The Page Setup box closes and your document takes shape with the new margins. Adding a gutter setting. If you plan to bind the pages of your document, you will want to add extra space to the side or the top margin of the document. This extra space is called a gutter. To add a gutter setting to document margins, click the Margins button in the Page Setup group. Select Custom Margins in the Margins menu to display the Page Setup dialog box. Under Margins, select a setting in the gutter box and select left or top in the gutter position box. As you change the settings, the sample in the dialog box under Preview will change to show the effect of the new settings. Setting margins for booklets. While putting margins together, a booklet, corporate report or newsletter, you need more sophisticated tools. To set the margin for booklets, you have to open the same Page Setup dialog box as said before. In the Pages group, click the Multiple Pages drop-down menu to see the options. Normal, it is the setting you use for most single-sided documents. Mirror margins are great for documents with facing pages, like bound reports or newsletters. 2 pages per sheet. This will print 2 pages on a single side of the paper. If you've defined headers and footers, they'll show up on both pages. Usually, you can cut these pages after printing to create separate pages. Bookfold. This is similar to the option above and prints 2 pages on one side of the paper. The difference is that the bookfold layout is designed so you can fold the paper down the middle to create a booklet with facing pages. When you make a selection from the Multiple Pages menu, some of the other options in the margin box change too. Selecting page size and page orientation. Depending upon your requirement, page size of your document varies. Word has given some beautiful default sizes which are commonly used, like letter, tabloid, A3, A4, etc. Changing paper size. Go to Page Layout, move your pointer to Page Setup, click on Size. With one click, you change your document size. If there's text in your document, Word reshapes it to fit the page. For instance, you change a 10-page document from letter size to tabloid. Customizing paper size. If you can't find the paper size you need, then you must customize your paper size. Here are the steps. Choose Page Layout. Move your pointer to Page Setup, click on Size. At the bottom of the Size menu, click More Paper Sizes. The Paper Setup dialog box appears with the Paper tab. In the Width and Height boxes, enter the size of your custom paper. The quickest way to change the width and height settings is to select the numbers in the boxes and type your new page dimensions. Notice that as you change the dimensions, the preview of your documents can be seen over here spontaneously. Click OK at the bottom to close the dialog box and make the changes. The Page Setup box closes and your custom size document shows in Word. Set in paper orientation. Most business documents and letters use a portrait page orientation, meaning the page is taller than it is wide. To set orientation option, go to Page Layout, move your pointer to Page Setup and click on Orientation is the easiest way to make the change. Just click one of the two options, Portrait. But sometimes you want a short, wide page, landscape page orientation to accommodate a table, chart or photo, or just for artistic effect. At that time, you have to follow the same step and select the landscape orientation. Working with multiple columns. Word makes it easy to work with columns. For example, it's like newspaper style. Instead of using tabs or spaces to separate the column one line at a time, Word